This video is sponsored by True Gold Republic, the precious metals experts. Talk to one of their experts today about diversifying your portfolio to assure your future financial security. Find their contact information in the description below and or pinned in our first comment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, James Kaufman, World News Report today. They're not going to let us talk about what they're up to. I think that Verizon and AT&T both have their algos, just like I read about. And me showing y'all the brown is not going to work out. Every time I've tried to do it, it just doesn't work out. Let's get our little entrance going. All right, James Kaufman, World News Report today. May 7th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. I'm guessing no invitations have gone out. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to let us talk about what they're doing to make this happen, although I just showed it to y'all. If anyone made it back, don't worry, you're already on the list. You commenting is not going to put you any further on the list. And let's see what we have going on mostly here. This is actually what we had going on mostly. I think this one. Let's go over. We'll start out with today's forecast, which they pretty much blew. Well, they did a pretty good job, I guess. Indiana, Ohio, I guess later tonight. West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. It's not exactly as good as they've done in the past. It was a joke, Cheryl. The list that the Biden administration is making of patriots. When I start talking, what list? When I start talking about things that are true and showing y'all, they take down the video, right? And those are actually done because the government now actually runs Verizon and AT&T as well as all the social media platforms. They're putting the crunch on you, baby. Putting the crunch on you. The list for the camps. For the camps. All right, let's see what happens tomorrow. Wow. Tomorrow looks hectic, guys. It looks like it's going to be a little bit north of me, all the way from Texas to Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, maybe a tip of Kansas. Did that scare you, Cheryl? Come on. Come on. Y'all are the white hats. You got to keep remembering that. Y'all are the white hats. And then look at day 3. Look at day 3. This is going to be just Thursday. I'm totally in this, and they've turned it into a high pressure. Although they have L here, it's blue, like a high pressure zone. Negative rotation, so it's a subtropical low. It's a low. That's where they have L's here. They were lying, making it high, but ICC, the National Weather Service, in several of my videos, and said these are subtropical lows. And they are. They're in the middle of the Central Plains, and they're spinning the opposite direction. Any high would be spinning clockwise in the Northern Hemisphere. If we're still in the Northern Hemisphere, right? And we're seeing just the opposite for I guess the entire season, which has lasted about 2 weeks thus far. We've seen nothing but subtropical lows. And if I go to windy, now this is really bothersome here for Thursday. Really bothersome. So, I don't like how low it is there. If I go to windy, I'm going to show y'all something. I can't really say anything or they'll pull us down. This is going to be, I believe, just over, is this Atlanta, Georgia, going into Tennessee. Irregular lightning. I'm just going to do that. Does that work any better? They want them. They want them. All right, so this stuff out in front doesn't really exist either. I'm not quite sure what's causing that. I'm not going to try to guess. But anytime you see irregular lightning, once it moves off, you're going to see this. See it? Look, the strikes are still there. You can see what happened. This comes through, the same thing happens. It's absolutely laughable. Look. Watch this. This will be funny to watch. Boom, boom, bam, bam, boom, boom. And then what's this? What's this? You'll have to tell me. And out in front, they're ready to roll out in front of all this stuff here. This is about to hit it big time here. Where are we? Indianapolis, Indiana. And behind it, they're doing it. And under it, right now they're doing it. Anytime I talk and say what they're doing, the algorithm's going to shut us down. Look, this is what happened and still visible. See all the irregular lightning? Now watch the ground once it moves off. Do y'all see all this? And look in front of it even. They're trying to juice it in front too. I mean, these people are ruthless. Ruthless. That's all I can say. Are we still? Let's see if we had another flare. Looks like we did. Looks like it wants to be an X1. Maybe an X. It can't be an X3. Let's see what happens here. We are going to do a space weather report in just a second. But I will say nothing compared to what we saw just yesterday, really. Although technically we're into the 8th, but 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 32 minutes here. It looks like it's an X 1.06 to me. We will be able to determine everything in just a split second. Does anyone want to know anything about... I want to show y'all this because y'all need to know this. God, they have messed up even this. What are these white things? What are these white things under me and stuff? Are they doing something to me? Again? Yes. What y'all are looking at here is a subtropical low spinning counterclockwise. Any high, which this should be a high, obviously, meeting all the moisture off the Gulf. You got a low meeting a low. That is a freak show, right? It's dark out there. The camera must be off. All right. And we'll go back real quickly and see if this updates. Nothing has happened since 7:36. Although they're going to add 20 more to this because we've already seen them hit the ground, and we'll take a look at where they are. Just you guys, if y'all have any friends or family that you care about in these areas, the heck is that? Is that a heat advisory? A haze advisory? It's a heat advisory. Wow. Never seen anything like that before, especially in a month like now. Very, very strange. I think the whole world's falling apart. apart. Falling apart. Now we've got 2 tornadoes. Close some of these out. 2 tornadoes on the ground. They're not keeping up with things there. We'll go back to this. 2 tornadoes on the ground, and it's going to be Minnesota. We'll pull that up, and then we've got several tornadoes on the ground here. Ooh, I hear a high-pitched ring just behind me. If anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee, guys, we need about 10 cups of coffee. Keep this channel up. If anyone can help out, it's greatly appreciated. I think I hooked up the sound again, but who knows? Who knows? Who wants to go into a space weather report live? Tell me. It's only 9:30. We don't have to do it now. We can wait a minute. It looks like that flare that we were just looking at, it looks like it's going to go up again. Look at that. I thought it would. Is this an M baseline? I always dreamed about an M flare baseline. I used to report C3, C5s like they were the biggest thing in the world. The last 7 days, 1 X flare, 2 X flares, 3 X flares, 4 X flares, 5 X flares. And I won't even try to count the M flares, okay? Especially even from today. There were 10 or 11 last time I counted. There were 11 M flares today. Now what's so wild is again, and I keep telling y'all this, they're not forecasting any impacts, right? I showed y'all this. Look, twos. There's a geomagnetic disturbance that just dropped in there. Little disturbance on the 9th. Twos. Completely ridiculous. We just got hit with an R3 radio blackout. Take a look at what that looks like. Let's get over there and check it. Golly, getting hit by so many flares today. I want to show you guys something. Y'all probably have never seen this, and y'all don't really realize this. This is really Earth size and the distance. This is the distance of Earth from our star, and that's to scale, Earth's scale size. And we're actually that close as well. So y'all better get with the fact that we live on a very tiny rock. Nothing compared to some of these planets in our solar system. Most of them in our solar system, besides maybe Venus and Mercury. We live on a little bitty rock, and that is to scale, and it could be wiped out and has been wiped out many times in the past, meaning 99.9% of life, even in the oceans, has been completely destroyed and has, well, that 0.1%, which is going to be 100,000, a couple 100,000 people and animals, have brought it back. And that's one of the reasons we have so many languages. At one point, when man was first created and spread around the world, they all spoke the same language. But this was six resets ago. Now, after each reset, you forget your language, you forget how to eat, to pee, you forget your name, and you create a new language. That's how we have so many different languages around the world. They said that this was going to be our 7th reset. And remember the 25,200 years and then the 3,600 years back to Noah's flood. 36 times 7, God's number, is the full reset or the major reset that we're facing. I know too much, and I'm afraid that the poles, I'll tell you where the poles are. South Pole is Probably, not probably, I know exactly where it is. I did my own report. I decided not to print it. Look at a South Pole that's in the middle of Australia right now, and a North Pole that's in the northern part of Russia coming down quickly. And I thought one pole would go one way, the other pole would go the other way. Well, they're going to meet just north of Indonesia. I don't know what happens when a negative hits a positive, but if you ever put a battery with negative and positive wires together, it creates electricity, right? That's how electricity is created. And it could go boom. Should go boom. I'm not quite sure how they pass each other and switch directions. We also, in December or January of this year, are looking at a 11-year pole flip. These are, again, not physical poles, but they're magnetic pole flip on our star. That happens every 11 years, FYI. This happens, I think, every 3,600 years, from what I can tell. And that's from scientists looking at the different layers in the Grand Canyon, because the water has dug so deep. Shows tens of thousands, if not millions of years of layers of ash, and then rock, and then ash, and then rock, and then ash. And they know when they see a layer of ash, they can tell about how many years the volcanoes exploded. And obviously, if the volcanoes are all exploding for several years, there'll be no food or water to drink or eat. So that's why about 99 to 99.9% of the Earth has been wiped out several times. Pole shift. What's causing the pole shift? Well, it could be, and let me see if I can find y'all a little map here. I think I can. I want to explain something to y'all. I wish my eyes were better, guys. We're going to have to try it and see if it works. All right, so here we are, our solar system, right? There's Earth. It's super duper small compared to what they make it look like. We're all part of the Milky Way galaxy. Now, we could be going up and down the galactical plane. The center of the Milky Way galaxy is a black hole. But that's not even the beginning of it. The galaxy is absolutely huge and contains millions and millions of solar systems, but it's just part of a local group of galaxies, and that is all part of a supercluster, the local supercluster, which is a little speck here in the universe. We also have universes above us, in front of us, to the left and right of us, below us, behind us. And obviously there are galaxies everywhere because there's a local group right here. So we could be going up and down every 3,600 years, the galactical black hole. And when we go up, the poles flip down, and when we pass back down, the poles flip again, and when we pass back up, they flip again. Or it could be the black hole that we know exists in the middle of the universe. I think it's probably the galaxy based on the size of things, right? But there's a black hole in the middle of the universe, and if we go above it, and then below it, and above it, I just don't see how we could do that in 3,600 years. I'm guessing this might be the 25,200 year deal, and this is going to be the 3,600 year deal, i.e. the galactical plane and the black hole there versus the universal plane and the full reset, i.e. God's number 7. Hopefully y'all learned something. You know, most of the planets are volcanic. Even most of the, believe it or not, we've already proven that most of the moons are volcanic as well. So that means they're alive. That's really what that tells you. You call it volcanic, I call it alive. That's why every time we find something, it's 70 feet or 150 feet underground because of all the volcanic eruptions. And what is that? That's the earth growing. And what does the earth feed off of? Sunlight. Sunlight makes it grow. And how does it grow? Through volcanic eruptions. That's why I showed you all that city that was found. Let's see if I have that Connecticut city. How do you spell Connecticut? Connecticut. Let's go to videos. Well, there's an 11,000-year-old foundation that was found in Connecticut. I don't know what I have it called. And it was found because they were putting, and I will find it for you guys, but it was 140 feet below ground level because they were putting in pylons for a bridge in Connecticut. They found what looks to me like a perfect house with a fireplace and stairs, etc. The pylon wouldn't go any deeper, so they excavated 140 feet down. They found what looks like a normal home's foundation, but it's 140 feet below the surface, right there near the river. So someone had a home built there 11,000 years ago. Let me see if it just comes up regularly. How do you spell Connecticut? Anybody? Oh, we might have to use Yandex. Let's try Yandex and see if we get it. Isn't that crazy? Watch this. If we do, "12,000-year-old site, Connecticut. Accidentally uncover ancient site." See, Connecticut. I'm going to try this one. 12,500 years ago, because that would be, well, right around what I was looking for. And that's it! I found it! That's the video I did. How does this get up here? Here's 140 feet below. And does that look like a perfect home to you? It's 12,500 years old. The front door, I'm guessing, maybe a fireplace, windows. This is 140. You can read the story yourself. I did this story. 12,500 years old. Take my 3,600 years and times it by 4. And they're probably off, not us, right? Or it's in between one of the cataclysmic situations. The Department of Transportation, while putting pylons on the river in Avon, archaeologists found a fire pit number. They call that a fire pit. Look at the perfect foundation, 140 feet underground. And these are the pylons they were trying to drive through it, and they couldn't get it through it. because someone had laid concrete 140 miles down. You know, they took mine down, but since I have a photographic memory, they can't beat us, can they? So their guesstimate at time could be right, it could be wrong. If it falls within, not on the 3,600 years, you wouldn't want to do that. It falls within, I guess, the, third or fourth reset. They were building perfect homes and perfect construction. If those aren't straight lines and they've hid this, actually what happened is the Smithsonian took this over and closed this road down. They were building a bridge there on this river. Connecticut experts say once home to southern New England's earliest inhabitants. And they're trying to make us think that this is a hut. Why is it 140 feet below the surface? Insert. Let's see if they give you all a distance. It's a hut. It's a hut. Look, I mean, they got it all covered. A bunch of crap they put in here. Between 13,000 and 1,100 years, let's take my 3,600 years, and that puts us right there. We don't want to be right there because that's the cataclysm. We want to be, and this shows you, they want to throw up a bunch of crap, but this is a perfect, and they won't give you all the depth. I can already tell you it was 140 feet down. They've taken the depth out of this. It's covered in 2015. Oh, gatherers and hunters did this, right? 13,000 years ago. They built this perfect foundation here right on the river. I know Yandex was the go-to. I love my Yandex. I love my Yandex. I'm not talking about real poles, Cheryl Pringle. I'm talking about magnetic poles. What are you talking about? I clarified that. I'm not talking about real poles. I'm talking about magnetic poles on the sun and on Earth. And it going through the either the galactical central plane, we can call it the galactical plane, or the universal plane. I'm not quite sure which, right? Maybe the sun passes up and down through the galactical plane every 11 years, and it flips. These are just hypotheses, but I just showed y'all a foundation that's 140 feet underground in Connecticut that's 12,000 plus years old. And they want y'all to believe that that was a hut. And of course they covered it up and closed that road. It was another hut. Yeah, that was a hut. Tiffany knows what I think. It's not what I think, it's what I know. God started speaking to me again, so I'm very happy. I don't know what I'd done wrong, but I feel blessed. That's all I can tell y'all. That's why he wants me to show y'all certain things, and I keep getting kicked off. Y'all must know that the U.S. government now owns Verizon, AT&T, and they have algorithms on both those for the internet and phones. They'll shut your phone call off if they don't like what you're saying. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with them misunderstanding me, but no. Look at Milwaukee. Let's see what we can see. Look how pretty it looks 2 days ago. Shut off the cameras, and then look at all this brown. What is that brown stuff, James? Don, you got me. This is going to be the seventh and final reset, i.e. the 1,000 years of, well, no problems, because there's only going to be, about 500,000 people around. And they don't even have to go to nuclear war. It'll happen by itself. Let's just hope the rich, ugly people that have all these bunkers aren't the ones that survive. Let's hope that their bunkers are covered up in ash, and some of us white hats survive and create a wonderful place to raise people and animals, both. Don, I already did that story, but they took it from me. They took everything from me. I'll survive. We say, Mike, who wants to, y'all saw the X-Flare X1 we just had? Who wants to go, who wants to blow this off and go look at it? Now, there are tornadoes on the ground, and I've given everyone fair warning. Ohio is completely in play. If you're in Ohio, make sure, or if you have any relatives in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, or Pennsylvania, they're in play for the next 12 hours, and then this whole thing's going to flip, and it's going to flip out. I mean, I believe that the polls that I saw, and I looked at probably 50 different reports today out of geological associations from all different countries. We've got our North Magnetic Pole in northern Russia, our South Magnetic Pole in central Australia, both of them headed to meet in right north of Indonesia. I just don't know what happens when a negative meets a positive. I do know what happens if I take a battery and I put copper wiring on one side and then the other, it's going to explode, right? The battery's going to blow. Or if the wires are connected separately and they're not together, it will create electricity at the end of the two wires. Electrical current is what that is called. That's how a battery works. But I don't know what's going to happen when our magnetic pole positive from the north meets our magnetic pole negative from the south. Nothing seems to happen every 11 years on our star when it flips. And based on all the reverse polarity sunspots that we're seeing, it could be flipping very quickly. Now remember, use Yandex, even though Google won't, well, they pay me a little bit, right? But it's a small channel, but they won't remonetize me. Let me show you what that looks like too. Watch this. There ain't no money. Ain't no money. Y'all want to buy me a cup of coffee? How could there be? Watch this. My reapplication is under review. You reapplied on April 4th, 2024. We'll review your channel and email you with a decision typically within a month. Well, I already showed y'all that I texted them and they don't even know what's going on. They've outsourced the jobs to India and Mexico, fired another 12,000 Google employees that listen to them. I tried to tell them the more creators that aren't getting paid because you've demonetized them, the more jobs will be lost at Google and Alphabet and YouTube. Is this like rocket science to you guys? Or brain surgery? I used to say rocket surgery or brain science, but I think I got it right now. Did y'all see that not one bow shock hit our planet all day long with 11 M flares and X flares? Not one bow shock, which is impossible. I don't know. I know the sunspots are there because I can see them visually. I know the sunspots are there. I just don't know. I really don't know if the data we're getting is any good or not. And if so, why is there no bow shock and why is there pressure on the backside? There's no ebbing effect. How can you go all day long, 11 M flares, one X flare? It just occurred, not one bow shock. Y'all check it out. If y'all want my big report I did earlier, y'all should go check it out. It's at World News Report. I'll put it down here. Report 1. And if anyone wants to email me, it's World News Report Today at gmail.com. I know Tiny Prepper wanted to email me some photos of the sky earlier. Hopefully they're watching and got that. I can't address everything. Hey, Jamba. Hey, Lois. Good to see y'all. We're actually We've been actually talking about the tornadoes on the ground moving into Ohio currently, and the tornadoes here that are going to jump over from Wisconsin to Michigan again. Although Michigan's been hit all day long, looks like we have a new tornado on the ground here. Take a quick look at that. Gosh, right north of Columbus, Ohio. Take a look at that radar right there. And I did warn y'all who to warn. Everyone to the west or to the east and northeast of that. So I'm going to blow this up just a bit more, 250, not 300. So this is what we have. Columbus, Ohio's just got hit by 2 tornadoes. That's Central Loop, 2 tornadoes. And all this stuff that was tornadoes has really let up a bit. Look at the blue colors in here. Watch the blue. We're down in this area here. Cat 3, Cat 4. If anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee. See if I have the right thing pulled up. No. If anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee, here is how you can do that. Much appreciated. If you do buy us a cup of coffee, come back to the line and tell us you did. I'm trying to at least get the audio and the button to work. Can't figure this out. It's killing me. All right, we're going to be back for a space weather update here. Y'all do know that the poles are probably going to flip this year, right? And this is what I thought was going to hit Milwaukee. Look at all these supercells. And it bounced. These were all tornadoes going into Milwaukee. When it got near that lake, it bounced. And I'm expecting it to end up over in Michigan here with just in about an hour and a half. It's moving so fast. So very fast. Well, this is going to continue through June. So today's May 7th. Last year, this continued through the end of June, almost every other day. It's been worse this year. We had the 101 tornadoes in one day this year. That did break every record thus far, but I think we'll break that record once again here, maybe in a day or two. I sure wish I'd remembered what I'm still trying to see if I have that video. Is that how you spell it, guys? Probably not, right? Connecticut. I live in Connecticut. Connecticut. Let me just see if I can search my whole drive. I had to erase a lot of stuff off this, guys. I had to erase a bunch of stuff. It's loading some stuff, so we'll take a look. If I've got that video, I will play it for you guys. But that foundation was 12,500 years old, and that's not a hut. Not a hut, by far. That was like a perfect home by the size of the trucks outside, etc., etc. Wow, this is going well. We are going to close this down. We're going to be back here in about 15 minutes with a full space weather update for the day. Hopefully you guys will join us. See if I spelled Connecticut right. You live there, so you know. It's searching my entire hard drive. I might have this on my external hard drive now. I had to free up some space, although this computer has a terabyte. That's just not enough anymore. We almost done. Let's see if we have that video. I'll smile from cheek to cheek if we have it. Can you believe we had to go to Yandex to find it? That's the scariest thing out of anything you could ever think of. A Russian browser to find something that happened in Connecticut. That should scare y'all. What are you working on? Close some of this out. Lots of tornadoes heading to Michigan and Ohio. And they've reported nothing new. I will update that to make sure. And gosh, with all the RAM I've got, this should have been long done. You're working on it? That is true. Quartz and gold will go together. Oftentimes, even intertangled, i.e., pressure causes gold. That's why there's gold shooting out of Erebus volcano. All the pressure is shooting out of Erebus down in, right where Murdoch Station is, right? Gee, I wonder what we're doing. Mining for gold, you think? Gold seems to be gold, oil, silver. These things seem to be worth more than human life to some people. Not to me, but to some people. Well, this is hard to believe. I'm going to let that keep going. I'm going to let this keep going. We're going to slowly wind this up. I'm going into a space weather update here, guys. Hopefully you guys will join me. Can't believe they're not recording any of these tornadoes yet. I've told y'all many times, University of Michigan, especially in the evenings, it's about 2 hours late on everything they do. Not really my fault, but... Well, if y'all want to get that story, I will show y'all. This has happened after they hate when I go to Yandex. $12,500-year-old site. And they're telling y'all that this, you can see the perfect lines. I used to AutoCAD for my father, who's an architect. And let me tell y'all, the hell is that crap? And how do you get rid of it? This is a perfect home here. Probably the front door here. Probably a fireplace, windows. You can see everything here. And they're saying that this was a 12,500-year-old hut at 140 feet below ground level currently. In other words, the earth is alive and growing. And the Smithsonian actually closed this road over and took it over. They didn't want anyone to know that someone built a perfect home 12,500 years ago. Nope, look at these two guys going, what in the... is this? I can see the depth. I have the depth because I did the report on it. And they don't give y'all a depth because, and this is Yandex. You have to actually go to, and of course the Smithsonian took it over. You have to actually go to, they're trying to, fire pit. These aren't fire pits. These aren't arrowheads. That was a foundation. And we all know it. Stop with your arrowhead crap. Heard enough. See if I got it. I guess it must be on my other hard drive, guys. My apologies on that video, but I put together all the true facts. If y'all use Yandex, y'all can get some real search results. It's not my fault. You can blame Google and your U.S. government, Brandon, for that one, right? Hey, Brandon, I know you're watching. Y'all realize that Brandon's watching, right? All right, we're going to shut this down. We're going to come back very shortly. FJB. FJB. What does that mean? I can't believe it's taking this long to go through my C drive for Connecticut. It's a 1 terabyte C drive, hard drive, but I guess I'm going to let this run. We're going to shut this down. I'm going to come back, guys, with space weather. The Smithsonian doesn't want anyone to know about any of this stuff. That's why they took my video down. They called it misinformation. But wait a minute. How's it 140 feet under the surface? Because the Earth is growing. There's volcanoes all over there and all over the whole globe. And the growth comes from the sun. The sun is the food for Earth. And for those of y'all that didn't see it, I need y'all to see this real quick. See, I just put it, well, I'll just grab it. I know where it is real quick. Don't piss me off. I know where it is real quick. I want y'all to see how close and how small Earth is compared to our star here. Y'all need to really get a feeling easily and how close we are first off and how small we are. That's to scale. To scale. It's hard to get it to scale, isn't it? And that's distance-wise too. So we're up close and personal, and we're a little bitty rock. 3 rocks from our star. And imagine Venus and Mercury, all the heck they take. All the other planets are much larger than what we're dealing with. Still working on it? All right, we're going to shut this down. We're pulling up space weather. I'm going to let this computer work on this. And if I do have the foundation video, you guys will get it. Lots of love to all. We're shooting now. Roku does not have YouTube if you go buy it anymore. But if you already bought it, they lost that contract. But if you already bought it, you got it. I mean, come on, man. Ain't come up with nothing yet. All right, we're shutting down. We're going to come back with a solar weather update. Please warn all your friends in Ohio, Michigan about what's happening. And love you all. Hopefully we'll see y'all back in about 16 minutes. I'm going to work as hard as fast as I can. I might be a few minutes late.